everyone, we are back with another video. Now this one is going to be based on an actual client. This is for melasma treatment before and after, so you can see the photos. It is very difficult to get clients to give me permission to show their before and after photos, as well as telling their story. So after finishing 4 melasma treatments, I finally got permission from one of my clients to use her story to help for those of you who are wondering how to treat your melasma. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Christy and I have been professionally treating clients in the areas of treatment-resistant hyperpigmentation, acne, and anti-aging for over 18 years, and I've done about over 27,000 different treatments. So meet Danielle. This is not her real name. I decided not to use her real name. She is in her late 30s and she is originally from California, but she moved to Southern Florida and she still goes back and forth. She is a jewelry designer, and when she came to me, filled out her consultation, her main focus of concern was treating her melasma that was spreading on her face. Even though she still struggled with breakouts, she wanted to concentrate more on her melasma, and she also did not like her texture. She wanted to improve the texture of her skin. Now I'm going to be giving you a brief background history so that you can see how it all comes together and how I do consultations. Now when I do melasma treatments, how I am a little bit different from most conventional people who treat this skin disorder is I do it without the use of topical medication. I actually use a 3-pronged approach, which is a customized skincare protocol, their diet, as well as supplements. And it's highly customized based on their lifestyle as well and what they eat. So let me give you, I have her notes. I also have all of this is her consultation form that she fills out that gives me information. So when I actually talk with the client, I can ask follow-up questions based on their answers that they put in the consultation form. So let's kind of go through this here. So her brief background history: she has been on hormone therapy, namely birth control, for over 10 years. And then she did an IUD for 3 months before the pigmentation began. The IUD had with hormones, okay? So because she had done so many different types of treatments and invasive treatments on her skin, I told her the treatment was going to be very, very slow. Now I do have to tell you that most of the clients that come to me, usually by the time they come to me, they have seen several different dermatologists, even plastic surgeons. Their melasma just got worse. So I usually get clients who have treatment-resistant hyperpigmentation, very difficult to treat. The ones that have not done a lot of invasive treatment, by the time they come with me, usually their melasma clears up pretty quickly. Okay, so she first started using tretinoin April-May of 2021, okay? And she used it until June, so not very long, of 2021. Then she developed pigmentation on her upper lip, as you can see in the picture right here. I'll insert it again, in 2021, okay? Then she stopped using it after she moved to Florida. And then again, she started using tretinoin in the summer of June and July of 2023. She stopped using the tretinoin 1 week before she went to Hawaii in January of 2024. And at that time, even though she was using it and then she stopped it just 1 week before going to Hawaii, she actually spent most of her time outdoors. So you have to know with her, she spends actually quite a bit of time being outdoors, okay? She likes to go on retreats, she likes to hike. So then also the first time she did microderm. So she also did microderm, and she did this in Mexico. And I asked her specifically if the people that she did it in Mexico, did they warn her actually that she should not be doing microderm during the summer months? And of course they didn't. That's why she got it done. She did that the end of August of 2021. Now, the second time she did the microderm, it was September of 2021, so the following month. The third time, she didn't do it until September of 2022. She did not use tretinoin at all in 2022. Now, she also did another different type of treatment called PRP. For those of you who are not familiar with that, that's plasma, plasma-rich, platelet-rich plasma treatment. Okay, that's otherwise known as PRP treatment. Now, in 2022, she did red light therapy almost every day, back to back. Then she did it 3 times a week. Okay, she also did a series of what is called V-Peel. She did it October of 2022, January 2023, that's when they kind of bumped it up, and they did what was included was a 12% phenol solution. Then in June 2023, you notice now we're getting into summer, she did a solution of 1% tretinoic acid, 12% salicylic acid, kojic acid, and vitamin C. Then at the time, she was also doing it with topical tretinoin application. And she said, I have in quotes here, that her skin was on fire. Okay. And she continued to go outside, and I have in quotes, live her life. So she did this in the summertime. Okay. Now, her breakouts included red bumps with pus, as well as some blackheads. Now, at this point, her skin, she said she started to notice increasingly that it became reactive. The reactions that she found on her skin were from pets, medicine, makeup, skincare products, and foods. She had an oily shine pretty much all over. Now, her diet, she doesn't have a sweet tooth, but at the time of the consultation, she was doing vegan protein shakes plus collagen, some bread, lots of pasta, some cheese, but not a lot. And she was actually vegan for a year. So now this is where critical thinking comes in. So I said, were you vegan at any time during the time that you were doing some of these invasive procedures? And she said, yes. So here's one of the things. I'm not against people who are vegan or vegetarian or carnivore. I don't care. I have to just adjust your treatment protocol based on the diet that you choose. But here's the thing. She was vegan during the time she's doing all these invasive procedures. When you voluntarily break down your skin, in order to rebuild itself, it needs protein and collagen and essential amino acids. Also, when you're vegan, you tend to be lower in vitamin B's and D and K, since most of these essential vitamins or supplements come from animal-based products. So right there, she's destroying her skin, so to speak, right? To repair it, the skin to repair itself. But when you don't have enough protein and essential nutrients, it's very difficult for her skin to rebuild itself. Thus, usually when people use tretinoin, one of the things that they notice is an improvement in texture. But for her, she said she didn't really like the texture of her skin, even after she did a lot of these exfoliating facial treatments. Okay, so then afterwards, she started eating steak and dairy products after that. Okay, so before she met with me, her skincare protocol was in the morning, she would do CeraVe face wash, Sephora Hydrator Glow, Koda mineral sunscreen. In the evening, she would remove her makeup with Target micellar water, and then everything else was pretty much the same, with the exception of a brightening enzyme exfoliator from Sephora. Okay, so by the time she came and saw me, her health status as far as her skin was, it was sensitive, it was reactive, it was inflamed. Her melasma, she felt, was getting worse and actually spreading. She was getting breakouts, oily skin, and she did not like the texture of her skin, right? So typically, when somebody comes in to get treated and they go to a regular practitioner, they usually are administered a topical medication that may include hydroquinone, kojic acid, tranexamic acid, tretinoin, any of the above. But and she was coming in from melasma. So she was quite surprised when I said the first step that we have to do is we have to reduce inflammation. We're not going to treat the melasma yet, because with prolonged inflammation over time, your skin will naturally increase in pigments. Especially if you look at her skin type was between a 3, Fitzpatrick skin type 3 and 4. So we had to reduce that inflammation. So her protocol, actually her first one, did not include any brightening serums or any brightening creams, anything that was heavy duty in bioactive ingredients. And so what we did is we replaced her micellar water, which is what normal people will tend to go towards micellar water if they have oily skin or breakout prone skin to remove their makeup. But what I did is I actually removed it with the foaming cleansing oil that I'm showing right here. It's all natural. There's no silicones, there's no emulsifiers. It's just a combination of 3 very purified, they triple filter it, oils to help with her skin. Okay, so I did that. Now with this foaming cleansing oil, you're going to see in most natural cleansing oils, the main oil that you will see is olive oil, because olive oil, their lipid acid, fatty acid profile is the most effective in breaking down oils and dirt in the skin. However, it tends to really dry out the skin because it clings on to everything and then gets it off. So the higher quality foaming cleansing oils you're going to see is going to have some form of jojoba oil, which is the naturally closest to human sebum. However, it's not the most effective in breaking it down. That's why you use olive oil. Okay. And then we use the saponified form of coconut oil, right? So it kind of doesn't strip off everything off the skin. Okay. Then we changed her cleanser with an all-natural tea tree oil cleanser because we wanted to balance out her oil production without using anything that was harsh or anything high in AHAs or BHAs at the time. Now, as far as supplements go, we actually put her on what's called an HPNP tincture to help regulate digestive and regulative function. And we had her on ProShield Max. Now, here's the thing with her. You're not going to hear most professional skincare professionals talk about. She's telling me at the first skin consultation, oh, by the way, in March, I'm going to be attending a retreat in Costa Rica where she'll be spending a lot of time outdoors and hiking outdoors. So how do you treat someone with melasma who is about to go on a retreat where she'll be spending a lot of time in the sun? So this is where we had her prep her skin, so to speak, at the cellular level by taking the ProShield Max. I talk about this all the time. If you look at the ingredients in the ProShield Max, it has 1,000 milligrams of ingredients that have been known to mitigate UVB damage and actually help your skin protect itself and regulate pigmentation formation by reducing inflammation at the cellular level. So you will see at this picture right here, we are in mid-treatment where she's just using the ProShield Max, and she just started using she did one treatment, a vitamin C treatment, after she came back from her retreat. And we also use the astaxanthin serum, and if you know anything about astaxanthin, it helps increase vitamin C performance as well as prevent it from breaking down, and actually increases in efficacy when exposed to red, white, and blue light. Okay, so let me see what we all have my protocol notes here. But even with her not using any professional level treatments yet at this point because she was spending so much time outdoors. She actually continued to use this protocol for several months, okay, because she was doing all this traveling and hiking, going to outdoor retreats. Okay, so it wasn't until the end of the beginning of this year where we could focus on the advanced stages of her protocol. She came back on her trip. We introduced the all-natural balancing cleanser because she wasn't breaking out, and her oil production really rebalanced. So we introduced the overnight repair cream, which has a time-release, more sensitive form of a vitamin C derivative. And then we included the MD Dermaceutical Pigment Control Serum along with specific skincare products with her skin, as well as kind of creating a specific protocol along with microcurrent. Now, please note, this protocol was based on her skincare history, on whether she, what she was taking as far as her, medications, her supplements, her diet choices, her lifestyle. So this doesn't mean that this protocol will work for you. I'm just sharing with you what worked for her. Now, so if you are struggling with hyperpigmentation or melasma or stubborn acne spots or anti-aging and you no longer want to use topical medications, here are your 3 options. Number 1 is that you can click on the link below in the video description below for more information on my treatments. Number 2 is that also there's a link on there where you can take a quiz. There's 3 different quizzes on acne, scars, anti-aging, age spots, hyperpigmentation, and based on the answers, it's going to be self-intuitive on whether you just need the right combination of just products, 2, or supplements, 3, or is that based on your answers, you actually need professional help because it's showing that you have treatment-resistant hyperpigmentation. Or 3 is that you can keep watching these videos and try to figure out what works for you. And I will include a hyperpigmentation playlist here if you're not quite ready to do treatments, but you want more information on that. Okay, so let's look at her after photo. So if you look at her after photo here, you will see that it has cleared up significantly. And this is especially after her taking the Pro Shield Max. So I remember she was a little bit hesitant and a little bit skeptical, which I totally understand. But after her being out in the sun a lot and taking this, I think she understands why her skin lightened up so much after that, and then lightened more after we actually did the treatments. So you can see that here. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions on the consultation, then please include it in the comments below, because remember, makeup is an art, skincare is a science, and we'll see you in the next video.